Have you ever woken up one morning, stared at the ceiling, and asked yourself, why am I this tired? Not just from lack of sleep, but because you've been running on empty for too long and no one has noticed. Welcome to Recharge and Reignite, a space where we slow down, listen to ourselves, and reflect. Here, we share real stories about real people living in the fast-paced world and quietly burning out. But from those same stories, we find how to reignite, little by little. If you've ever felt empty in the midst of success, if you felt exhausted and don't know why, or if you're just looking for a place to breathe and to be understood, then you found the right place. Let's recharge together and light up the spark that got you started in the first place. The 5 stages of burnout. Which one are you in? You wake up. Your alarm is blaring. You hit snooze. Again and again. You're not tired. You're depleted. But here's the thing. You weren't always like this. Introduction. The slow burn we never see coming. Most of us don't realize we're burning out until we're already ash. You tell yourself, it's just a busy week. Then it's a busy month. Then suddenly, years pass, and you no longer recognize the version of yourself staring back in the mirror. Burnout doesn't announce itself with sirens or flashing lights. It's subtle, creeping, a slow leak rather than a blowout. In this journey, we'll explore the 5 stages of burnout, not from a cold clinical lens, but from inside the mind of someone who's lived it, felt it, survived it, and maybe you'll see yourself somewhere along the way. Stage 1, the honeymoon phase, when passion feels like power. At first, everything is exciting. You've just started a new job, a new project, a business. Maybe you've landed promotion, or you're finally doing something you love. You're in early. You stay late. You volunteer for everything. Your friends say you're working too hard, and you smile because they don't get it. You feel unstoppable, like caffeine and ambition run in your bloodstream. This is what I've been waiting for, you tell yourself. But here's the catch. The honeymoon phase is intoxicating and deceptive. You push limits without realizing they exist. You skip lunch to meet deadlines. You cancel plans because I'll catch up with them next week. And deep inside, something tiny whispers, how long can I keep this up? But you silence it. You're just driven, right? Stage 2, the onset of stress. The cracks begin to show. Weeks pass, then months. You're still pushing, still chasing. But now you feel different. You can't put your finger on it at first. You're still getting things done, but everything feels heavier. The Sunday night dread becomes a familiar friend. Emails make your chest tighten. You start waking up tired, no matter how much you sleep. Little mistakes slip through. You reread the same sentence 5 times. You feel guilty taking a break, but guilty for never taking one. Am I just being lazy? Why can't I focus like before? You shrug it off. You're just tired. Everyone's stressed these days. It's just a phase. But it's not. This is stage 2, and it's the beginning of your body and mind waving red flags. Stage 3, chronic stress when the fog never lifts. This is where things get dark. You're no longer a little tired. You're always tired. Caffeine does nothing. Vacations don't help. Weekends vanish in a blink. You forget appointments. You miss birthdays. You become irritable with co-workers, friends, even strangers in line at the grocery store. You start resenting the very things you once loved. You dream of quitting, of disappearing, of driving far away and never looking back. You stop exercising. You eat what's easy, not what's good. You isolate. You scroll. You sleep, or you can't sleep at all. And deep down, you feel like something inside you is breaking. But you keep showing up, because what choice do you have? If I stop, everything will fall apart. I just need to hang on a little longer. But longer turns into forever, and the fog doesn't lift. Stage 4, burnout, when you hit the wall. Then one day it happens. Maybe you cry in your car before work. Maybe you stare at your screen for hours and produce nothing. Maybe your body gives up. Chest pain, migraines, panic attacks. You tell yourself to push through, but you can't. You've hit stage 4, full burnout. It's not just exhaustion. It's emptiness. You feel like a shell of the person you once were. You no longer care about work, about friends, about goals, about yourself. Your brain plays the same haunting questions on loop. What's the point? Am I broken? Will I ever feel normal again? And here's the scariest part. No one notices, because you become a master at hiding it. Smiling, saying I'm fine, delivering just enough to stay afloat. But inside, you're drowning. Stage 5, habitual burnout. When this becomes your new normal, this is the most dangerous stage of all, because it doesn't feel like a crisis anymore. It feels normal. You've adapted to the burnout. Your body and mind operate in survival mode. You lower your expectations. You stop dreaming. You stop resisting. Joy feels foreign. Motivation feels like a myth. You don't even remember what it feels like to be excited about something. You just exist. Monday through Friday. Wake, work, sleep, repeat. People call you reliable. But inside, you feel like a robot on autopilot. Maybe this is just what adulthood feels like. Maybe I'm just not cut out for more. This stage can last years. And the longer you stay here, the harder it is to remember that this is not how it's supposed to be. How do you know which stage you're in? Ask yourself, when was the last time you felt genuinely excited about your work or your life? Do you wake up refreshed or already tired? Are you creating or are you just coping? Do you feel like yourself or like a stranger in your own life? Sometimes we move back and forth between stages. Sometimes we live in multiple stages at once. But wherever you are, there's a way back. Burnout is a signal, not a sentence. The science behind the stages. Let's pause and look beneath the surface for a moment. Burnout isn't just being tired. It's a physiological response to chronic stress. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. 1. The cortisol trap. Your body floods with cortisol, the stress hormone, to keep you alert. In small bursts, it's helpful. But when it never shuts off, it starts destroying your memory, your focus, your sleep patterns, even your immune system. 2. Dopamine depletion. You stop feeling pleasure from the things you used to love. That's not a personality change. It's your brain running on empty. 3. Prefrontal cortex fatigue. This is the part of your brain responsible for planning, decision-making, and impulse control. When it's overloaded for too long, you can't think clearly. You procrastinate. You freeze. You panic. Burnout isn't all in your head. It's in your brain chemistry, your nervous system, your cells. Real voices, snippets from the edge. Here are fragments of real experiences, pulled from people at each stage. Stage 1, honeymoon. I was working 14-hour days, and I loved it. I thought burnout happened to weak people. I felt invincible. Stage 2, onset of stress. I started dreading Mondays, but I thought it was just me needing better time management. Stage 3, chronic stress. I cried at my desk. I thought I was losing my mind. My manager told me to toughen up. Stage 4, burnout. I couldn't get out of bed for 2 weeks. I stopped answering messages. I felt like a failure. Stage 5, habitual burnout. It's been 5 years. I do the bare minimum to survive. I don't remember the last time I felt joy. How to reverse the spiral. There's no one-size-fits-all cure, but there is a path. 1, name it. Burnout thrives in silence. Saying it out loud gives you power over it. 2, rest. Deep, guilt-free rest. Not just sleep. Emotional rest. Social rest. Creative rest. Give your nervous system space to breathe. 3, reconnect with purpose. What makes you feel alive? Not productive, alive. Even 10 minutes a day with something you love can start the healing process. 4, boundaries are lifesavers. Start saying no. Start leaving on time. Start choosing you. 5, get help. Therapists, coaches, friends, support groups. Burnout is hard. Doing it alone is harder. Closing, a gentle wake-up call. If you've made it this far, maybe something inside you whispered, "This sounds like me." If it did, you're not alone. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're human. You've carried too much for too long. You've been strong for everyone else. But now, It's time to be strong for yourself. The 5 stages of burnout aren't a map to misery. They're a mirror showing you where you are so you can find your way back. So, which stage are you in? And more importantly, are you ready to come back to yourself?